Welcome to the Profit Talks podcast, hosted by the Orange County Inland Empire SBDC Network, funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration and the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. This show is the go-to resource for business owners seeking empowerment, education, and resources to succeed. Join us as we connect you with experts, share the triumphs of fellow entrepreneurs, and reveal the wealth of assistance available to you today to level up your business. So let's go. Let's dive in and learn more. Well, I hope you're ready for a conversation, because we've got a conversation that really is appropriate for the times. We're going to talk with somebody who's set up a new community counseling center in Riverside. It's called Victoria Community Counseling Center. She's the CEO, and we're privileged to have with us here today Katarina Fillippelli. Did I get that at all close?
You did perfect.
All right. Well, let's talk about today why. Let's give a background first, who you are, and then why did you set this up? Am I right? Are we all suffering from a collective nervous breakdown? That's the way my late mother used to describe society. The whole society is having a nervous breakdown. It kind of feels that way sometimes. We really need some counseling more than ever. So talk us through your story. Where did you come from? Obviously, you told me before you're from Slovakia originally?
Yes.
How'd you get here? How'd you get into this? And give us some background on how you got to here.
Hi, Paul. So thank you so much for having me on the podcast. We definitely live in very uncertain times right now. Research shows that even as the effects of COVID-19 are still present, and a lot of people lost so much during COVID-19, as a society and as the whole world, we have also suffered so much more anxiety.
More so than I can remember in a long time. I'm a child of the 60s, so I was born in the 50s. I grew up in the 60s, very turbulent times here in the United States. Riots, race riots, student revolts and riots, political assassinations, war in Vietnam. It felt like we were all kind of coming apart, and we were at each other, and a lot of uncertainty. And then and then all the protest movements and the rise of all these things, civil rights, women's rights, gay rights, all these things were just coalescing at once. It seemed like the whole thing was just going to blow up, and we were all walking around nervous or anxious. Then I thought we made it through that. And now all of a sudden, the last 10 years, we haven't seen political assassinations, thank goodness, or quite the open riots, but some, we've seen things at the Capitol and other sorts. We've seen, and the Black Lives Matter riots and everything, we've seen lots of people rising up saying, I'm angry, not going to take it anymore. On top of it, COVID, we've got wars around the world. It again feels like that kind of time. We're at each other. We're not sure what's happening. Am I just reading too much of it, or is it kind of it reminds me all too much of that turbulent time?
Well, you're absolutely right. Even CDC statistics show that as of 2019, we have seen about 20 to 30% increase in rates of depression and anxiety nationwide. So you are not imagining it.
Okay, because that's the way I'm feeling, and that's the way my friends and family are feeling. So how did you get into this work? You must have studied this a long time ago, and when did you come to this country, and why did you decide to get into this work? And take us through some of that.
So for myself, I came to California 19 years ago, and I have 2 master's degrees, one from back home from Europe, and the second one from Cal State San Bernardino. And as I studied and worked in public mental health and all the other aspects and sectors of mental health as a board certified clinician therapist, I just started to ask the difficult questions and started to see gaps in how we were not serving our people well.
Yeah, I don't think we are being served well. Maybe we don't know where to go, or maybe we don't have the right services in place. But as my mother kind of kiddingly used to say, she died a long time ago, but even then she could say, there's turmoil, there's chaos, there's confusion. It almost feels like we as a society are having kind of a nervous breakdown here. And she wasn't sure what to do then. It seems like it's only intensified then. So what drew you into this work, though? Did you start back in your home country, Slovakia? Did you do this back there?
Yes.
How did you get pulled into this line of work?
I always wanted to reach out to those who are less fortunate. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody has access to the same resources as we do. So I would always advocate for others.
Did you know anybody who did this? What motivated you to enter the field? Did you have a mentor? Did you have a parent, a friend? Well, we all have choices when we're little kids. Why did you choose this?
Yeah, that's so interesting that you asked. Look at you being a therapist.
I'm a therapist. I'm trying to delve into this a little bit. Don't just gloss over it. I want to know who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, great questions. Yeah, so Victoria is actually the name of my grandmother. And she has definitely made a huge impact on my life. She also always advocated for those less fortunate. And we just have, even within my family, just generations of doctors and medical professionals who have always been dedicated to serving others. Mm-hmm. When I came to California,
I got to ask, why? What brought you here? We live in an era. I still believe immigrants. My grandparents came over from Ireland. I still say immigrants are the lifeblood of America here. We're the ones that come and believe the American dream and make it true. I know some days, immigrants may not seem like the answer to everything, but that's where we all came from. The vast majority of us came from somewhere. What brought you here?
I was initially following friends who already studied here at UCR. I just came by a chance. By a complete chance. And then I fell in love with California. We really have such an inviting spirit. Mm-hmm. So democracy and being respectful, to me, California is the most democratic place out of all of the places around the world.
I certainly think so. I came from the Midwest, and to me, it's very inclusive out here. It's very... Yeah. It's the Wild West. Everybody came here seeking a better life, whether it's from another country, another state, or someplace. And so we're very independent, but it's kind of like do your own thing, find your own way, and there's something for everybody here. I just think, I could get on my California soapbox real easy here. I've lived here for 30 years. All my friends and family back in the Midwest say, "When are you going to come home? Come on, quit fooling around in California. Come on home." No, this is my home. All right, so you came here, you felt at home, you decided to stay. Now, you've got all this training back there. Does it apply here, or do you have to start all over again? Does the training transfer, or do you have to go get new accreditations and new training here in the United States?
Yes, so I wanted to, as I was finishing the accreditation, the easiest way for me and the most correct way for me was to just do my second master's degree here at Cal State.
You say that so casually. I don't even have one master's degree. You got two of them now here. That seems daunting. That's a lot of work. So I
really enjoyed going to school, obviously going to Cal State San Bernardino.
Yeah.
It was, I truly enjoyed learning. It's such a different environment here. And we are a lot more inclusive. And so the gender studies and, race studies have been a lot more truthful and impactful here in California as they were back home.
What kind of studying do you do in Slovakia? I mean, I'm sure there are great institutions throughout Europe, but I hear it's a different type of study. Is it more like I've heard in China, it's more command and control. Just memorize this, say this. We're not going to debate it. We're not going to discuss it. It's much more, the way I grew up, just memorize all this stuff and then spit it back. I hear education today is much more open and conversational, and you can chart your own paths and other things here. It wasn't just limited to these are the courses you have to take, and I don't care if you want them. This is what you're doing. Was it that way for you? Was it more? I don't know. Did you make your own path here, or did you have to just rememorize or reprove to the officials here what you learned over there?
Well, I mean, it's a lot more competitive in Eastern Europe because school is still free. I mean, universities are still paid for. So they have entry exams that are a lot more competitive than, most of the exams here.
So here in England and China and other places like that, you really have to, it's getting that entrance exam that determines where you go and everything. One test seems to decide your life for a while there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then here, because at Cal State San Bernardino, we were able to do internship for the last 2 years. It really placed me directly in the communities that I wanted to serve. And
which
so
are
here
what?
we are.
Are you dealing in low income communities? Are you dealing in communities of color? Are you dealing in middle class? Are you dealing in wealthy community? I don't know. Where are you focusing where's your calling?
Yeah, absolutely. So we opened this clinic late last year and started seeing clients a couple months ago. We're located in downtown Riverside. And our main goal is to provide high quality service. So we thought about all the people who are ready for therapy and they don't want to wait for all the insurance approvals and all these wait lists. And so we created Service Now, what we call rapid intake, for people who don't want to wait for all the insurance approvals. We can see them within 48 hours at a cash rate.
Okay. And you say this is you and a partner and you and
So
some other
yes,
people?
Victoria Community Counseling is myself as the CEO and Paul Baum as the CFO. So we created this clinic together.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you actually have hired people. I would have thought a startup, it'd just be you or you and a partner or something. You've got 8 different team members now, other clinical therapists. You've become an organization rather quickly here.
Yes. And so now we have 8 clinical staff of 8. Yes. So we're able to serve more people while also supporting our clinicians. They're able to provide telehealth service from their home office.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
It doesn't take them away as much from their families.
All right. So you say this so casually again, just like you casually say, I studied over there. I came over here. Oh, I needed another degree. I just casually went and got another master's degree. This is all amazing stuff here. This is not what everybody does. And everybody, when they come out of school, doesn't open their own business. Why not just go work for the county? Why not just go work for an established clinic? Why open your own clinic?
Yeah, we pondered this question for a really long time.
There are easier ways to go. You got debt to pay off, and why go through the challenge of becoming a business person now on top of this? Yeah.
It was really the passion that both Paul and I had about doing things better and provided people, with the service they deserve and timely service and the respect that they deserve in every phone call, every time they call the clinic, the way we are all culturally trained and culturally sensitive. When we receive a phone call from a client, we understand the challenges. We are all in this together.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe what I preach, so I'm in therapy myself.
Well, I've always heard that everybody who studies psychology and gets into therapy in any way, shape, or form always has a therapist themselves. I mean, if you don't believe in it enough to do it yourself, how can you get others to do it? So yeah, it's definitely got to work that way. All right. So again, did you know anything about business? Had you ever been in business? Do you know renting a place and legalities of setting up a business and how to market a business? A business is a whole nother enterprise unto itself here.
Yeah, it took us a long time to gain the courage to actually start working on the steps of establishing this corporation. So we are an S Corp. And it was, so after we gained that courage, we realized, Paul and I realized from the beginning that we are a very capable business partners together. Mm-hmm. When we join our forces and we're able to sit down and brainstorm, it just flows and it just works. But you almost need a degree in business, and we don't have that.
Yeah, you only got 2 master's degrees, and neither of them was in business here. Yeah, right.
So we had to, thank goodness, Paul ended up finding the Inland Empire Women's Business Center. Okay. And through them, we found SBDC. Yeah. And that was everything we needed to actually help us start a business.
So talk about that.
They are completely free.
Free. I mean, so did you think, you were saying beforehand when we were talking just offline, getting ready to do this, I said, how did you find the SBDC? Well, you said, well, the first step is we realized we needed help. We'd never been in business. And there wasn't a lot of help around that we could find, quality help. I think that's the word you used to describe it. And it's free?
And it's free.
I think that's like zero. Where can you find that except through programs like the SBDC? There aren't many of these things out there. So when you stumbled out, you went to the Women's Center and they told you what? You started saying, I need this and I need this. And they said, well, there's some programs. Because you actually signed up for the SBDC's, is it the Thrive training? Is that what they call it?
Yes. Yeah, we completed and we received a Thrive grant. Huge help.
So, and that goes for how long? Give me some idea what the Thrive training is and what kind of grants they offer if you complete. Is it 10 weeks? Is it 2 weeks? Is it months? I mean, what do you do? How long is it? And what happens in that Thrive training?
So we actually heard about the specific Thrive training through our SBDC advisor. So first they connected us with one-on-one, very high quality accredited advisor.
And your advisor was, let's give him a shout out. Who is your advisor? It said somewhere.
Troy Small. So we're super grateful for Troy.
Okay. Shout out to Troy. Okay. And Troy said, hey, we got this program. Why don't you, it's like, what is it, like weekly or monthly? What? I don't know anything about the program. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. So after Troy actually helped us create our bankable business plan, and I think we created like an 18-page business plan, which we would have never been able to create without him.
Not easy to do.
Figured out all the pros, all the cons, all the strengths and the weaknesses.
And competitive analysis and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and where our business heads in the next month and 3 months and 10 years.
And the business model, what are we going to do as opposed to everybody else? So you laid out this plan and then Troy suggested what? You look into this program.
Right.
Walk me through it.
Then he suggested, hey, you might want to look into this. And it comes with finances. It comes with money at the end. So we just looked, they offered the Thrive training quite a lot. So we just looked at the right schedule that was available for us. And it's only once a week on Tuesday afternoons.
And for how long,
for
roughly?
Hours.
How long, roughly? Weeks, months?
I think it's for about 6 weeks. I think it's about 90 to 120 minutes long. So hour and a half to 2 hours. And every lesson is a standalone lesson.
And what does it cover? Business permits, advertising, social media, et cetera, those kinds of nuts and bolts issues. Each one is a different topic every time you do this.
Yes. From the very beginning, they help you figure out how to just establish your business from the ground up, how to do it well, how to do it correctly, what kind of taxes do you need to be aware of, how to
tax
get your
structures.
business permits.
Yeah, right. And then once you do this, you get a certificate. Ta-da, you did it. And then what? They present it to some organizations, the state, county, federal level. I don't know who provides grants to these things, but somebody actually gives you some real cash to get going?
Yes. They are connected to MPAC.
Okay.
So once you complete your homework from all of the lessons they send you, you will then send it in. They'll verify that you attended, and they'll connect you with MPAC, which is also a local agency in the Inland Empire, providing microloans and also general size loans for new startup businesses. Really,
so is it a loan or a grant that they give you? Because I know they were giving grants for a while in different businesses, but this
was a grant they gave us, but businesses can also apply for loans with them.
Because that gets you, because the other question is not only what do I do, how do I pay for all this stuff? I got to go rent a space. I got to go buy equipment. I got to go put out ads. There's tangible stuff you got to spend money on. I know it. I did it when I did it here, and you're always taking my little savings and thinking, am I just rolling the dice? Am I just gambling this money away here? It would be nice to know that somebody was standing behind you and gave you some training first, rather than most of us that just come up with an idea and then say, okay, here I go, honey. I'm going to drain the bank account. I'm going to borrow against the house. Here we go. And that's a pretty scary proposition. So now you've been open how long in Riverside? A few months?
Right, yeah. So we officially opened in December. We got our space in May. We have a beautiful modern office in downtown Riverside. We are in those buildings sharing parking lot with the Heroes restaurant.
Okay, I think I know where that is, right downtown somewhere there.
Yeah, so right across the street from the RAM, from Riverside Art Museum.
Okay.
Beautiful
I
location.
know where that is. All right. So, and why Riverside? Why there? Why not? There's a million places in Southern California. Why downtown Riverside?
Well, I mean, we love our community. Both Paul and myself, we want to give back. And, we want to be able to provide affordable services as well. So to serve everybody, we're also offering groups at $30 per session, just to bring mental health,
right,
really just to anyone.
So what I'm hearing is it's a cash model. It's for people who want help now and initially it wasn't involved insurance, but clearly most of us, if I'm going to go to a long-term therapist, I'm probably going to hopefully get insurance coverage for this. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I've got some problem, and maybe I'm referred to from my work or something here, or maybe it's under my plan. Have you qualified for insurance things? I heard you did. You got a bunch of, that can't be easy. Insurance providers just will say, oh, sure, here, give us $10 or whatever in here, put your name on the list, and you're in. They got to know that this is a real service, and it's really going to do some value.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we take the major insurance companies' insurance coverage. So we accept Cigna, United Health, Blue Shield, Blue Cross.
All the big names. You got like 8 of them or something.
And much more, like all of the big names. There's about 40 different sub-plans.
So it started as a quick, because you mentioned early on in the interview, well, we just want to open this up for people who couldn't wait. You can get in, you can pay cash as a good rate, and we can get you some help at an affordable rate. And that still exists, but now you've expanded it into insurance services, which opens up a bigger marketplace, more people to deal with. I don't have to worry about the money. And beyond that, partners. Talk about partnerships. You've got some people referring you now. How does that work? Schools and other social agencies. People go to them and say, I'm struggling, I'm having difficulty. And you're on a list where you get referrals from these people? Is that the way it works?
Yes. So my specialty is to provide family therapy. So we get a lot of referrals for people who need help, maybe parenting their adolescent or help co-parenting with their ex-wife or ex-husband.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's what I love to do, the family therapy. I also provide individual therapy. Paul's specialty is also general population and also LGBTQ+.
Okay.
And all of our clinicians, they have their own specialties as well. In a couple of months, we will actually start getting trained in a new technique called tapping, EMDR. Don't know if you've heard of that before.
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that.
Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So that's going to be the future.
Because there are lots of techniques, including telehealth. Can any of this be done? Do I have to drive to Riverside to get it done? Is it old school? I got to lay on the couch and you talk to me here and whether it's Freudian, I look at my past or other behavioral or whatever. I don't know. There's a million theories out there. I know very little about them, but I know they all have different ways of working. But do they all have to work in an office or can I do it via telehealth?
Oh, no, telehealth is even better. We prefer telehealth because we can have even more availability.
I don't have to drive there. I don't sit there for an hour for, what's a typical session? Half hour, something
The
like
typical session is 60 minutes, which is about 53 minutes with the person and then a few minutes for documentation.
Right. So I would think I get more convenience. It takes me less time and effort. Probably I don't have to do it just within is it available on weekends or at nights or other times, or is it still just within that 9 to 5 time period?
Yeah, we're open 6 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're working very hard to meet everybody's needs.
Well, whatever you're doing, it seems to be working very well because within a short period of time, Katarina Fillippelli, did I say that right? Fillippelli? We keep saying
yes.
And you've taken this idea, you've taken and named in your grandmother's honor, Victoria Community Counseling, and you've grown it to more than just you, but a whole team of people. And you've now qualified, which can't be easy, to get on as a qualified provider for major insurance companies, and now a referral partner for you got schools and social agencies and other things, some other government contracts. Have you got any other government contracts or anything here? That would seem like a huge bonus if you could tap into that world.
Yeah, Paul and I are so happy to announce that we did receive a contract. So we're now serving the employees and families of law enforcement as well.
Wow. Talk about a group under stress. Talk about a group that has, I've read a little bit about that through the years, a number of people that get divorced in that organization. Everybody they see is a bad guy all day long, and then you go home and hard to turn it off. Now, these are the good guys. These are my family and my friends and stuff here.
Yeah.
No, everybody's a bad guy. Everybody's out to get us here, And that stress and strain of, oh, my goodness, how many first responders are committing suicide or quitting or burning out or all sorts of stuff here. It's very frightening example. A group that definitely needs help. All right. I guess I could talk forever about this. Can you give us any advice? You make this sound so casual. I came to this country. I got another master. I decided to open a business. I found somebody to help me for free. And now we've got a bunch of people and a bunch of contracts and everything else. It can't have been that easy. If it is, you're the only one. This is an amazing journey. I think you're minimizing the difficulties and challenges along the way here that you've overcome. My hat's off to you. Any advice to others who want to take this journey? You didn't have tons of money. You didn't have a big business background. You didn't have 20 years experience in the industry. All of that would seem to suggest, wait, don't do it. Put it off. But you didn't. You jumped right in. What would you tell others?
I would definitely encourage people to follow their dreams and do it wisely, having that balance between the brain and the heart.
Yeah, right.
And so for us, it was definitely by reaching out to SBDC. I strongly suggest that everybody sits down with their SBDC advisor and does the hard work of projecting all your financial gains and losses, making a detailed business plan or bankable business plan, and really just understanding your future projections.
A bankable business plan.
My best advice.
A one that a bank will actually give you a loan on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just a dream, not just the napkin like most of us create our businesses here. Hey, we'll come up with a name. It's a funny looking logo. Let's do it. Let's try it. And then, oops, I have no idea what I'm doing and I run out of money. How many small businesses fail? Huge number. I've seen startling statistics. Why would you do it alone, particularly if you've never done it before? Well, I'm grateful for the suggestion of the SBDC. As I've said before, I do some consulting with them myself. I think they're a great organization, real people doing real things, not just, academics or retired people or whatever. These are real people with real businesses like myself here who are trying to help real people like you. And it sounds like they really did.
They really did, yeah.
I think it's an amazing story. Give us again the website and the location. How do people find you if they want to learn more about your business or your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you can share our website yourself.
I have it up here. I had down victoriacounseling.org. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can put it on the screen, but yes, that's what we are, victoriacounseling.org.
Okay.
And we're going to be adding more clinicians and their profiles to our website. And yes, there are, the best way to contact us would be through the website. You can click a link or you can call us. We actually answer the phone.
No, come on. Nobody answers the phone anymore. Nobody picks up a phone. I can't call anybody. I can't call my insurance agent. I can't call my car loan. I can't call anybody here. It's just a challenge. Well, I think it's an amazing thing. And I'll end the way I started off. I think you couldn't have come up with at a more needed time. We all need counseling. I've been through it a couple of times in my life, and I grew up in that old school Midwest, tough guy, no problems. I can gut it out. I'm not going to be a wimp or weak or talk about any of this stuff here. Nobody wants to hear about it. And all it did is make me sick and miserable and confused. And I think more than ever, we all have to realize we need some help. It helps to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think never more so in these troubled times where we seem to be angry at the world or frightened or confused. I'm amazed at the number of people come up to me, like during COVID. I was just, who'd ever been through something like that? And people come up and say, you run this radio station, you talk to people. How do you feel about it? I said, what do you care how I feel about it? I don't know. We're just asking everybody. Should we wear a mask? Is it real? Is it safe? Are we going to die? And I'm like, I'm not your pastor. I'm not your priest. I'm not your counselor. I can tell you what I feel. And then I quickly say, how do you feel? And then we're just comparing notes like this all the time here. I think it takes more than just our own internal feelings. That's part of it. We got to realize that. It would be nice to get together in groups like we don't get together anymore here. Churches, counseling, large groups, a bar you all hang out at, I don't know, whatever it is, but we don't seem to come together, and we certainly don't seem to trust anybody, doctors and everybody, politicians, everybody. We're all doubtful. So we don't seek help because we don't know where to go, and we don't know where to go. We're not comfortable opening up, and we're not sure we believe them. I believe you. I think you have a passionate story to tell and a real good purpose that you're doing for, and I hope people will check you out and call you up and seek the help that we also desperately need here these days. I think you're onto something. I think it's a hot topic, and I think it's a sorely needed subject these days. So,
yeah, anyway. We're definitely onto something, and both Paul and I are, graciously inviting anyone who is interested or has any questions to give us a call, and we can provide a free
phone number. You want to give out a phone number or anything here? You said you answered the phone.
Yes, it's 951-476-5642.
One more time, 951's the area code.
476-5642.
And somebody will answer the phone?
And yes, our front desk bilingual staff will actually answer the phone.
Wow.
And if people are questioning whether or not they are right for therapy, or if we can help them,
and what it costs and how it works and how you do it and the different kinds of therapies you offer and for different communities and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll provide a free consult.
Starts with a phone call. All right. Well, I can't imagine, just like you made a phone call to the SBDC and it opened up a whole world for you.
Yep.
I think the same thing's true for what you're doing. One phone call will open up the whole range of possibilities and help for those of us who may be struggling these days.
That's beautifully stated. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Katarina from Victoria Community Counseling. Much luck, and I hope you come back sometime in the future and update us on as you continue to grow and go and build this business in Riverside. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Paul.
As we conclude another episode of the Profit Talks podcast, we hope we've empowered your entrepreneurial spirit. Reach out to us to connect with our experts, and let's take your business to the next level. Keep those dreams alive, keep pushing forward, and stay tuned for more. And if you liked what you heard in today's podcast and you want your business to reach new heights, just contact us at profittalkspodcast.org or call us at 1-800-616-7232. That's 1-800-616-7232. So until next time, keep thriving.